Let's go into our series, which we're going to be focusing on here today. This best of 5 between TLO and Optimus. Spawning in as the blue Zerg player to the upper left-hand side of the map is our blue Zerg from Team Liquid. Give it up for TLO. To the lower right, our red Terran player, it is going to be from Dead Pixels, Optimus. Abyssal Reef, well, this could be a long one because Optimus has been enjoying playing a lot of mech. And Abyssal Reef is definitely one of those maps where you know, if you're a mech player, you definitely go for the mech. It's a good map. It's a strong map for it. Last time I casted these two guys, Optimus took down TLO 2-1 in the O Gaming Cup a week or two ago. So he's definitely got the potential to make this a very interesting series. We'll see how this rolls out. Go TLO, says Corwin in the chat. What's up, man? How you doing? What's up, Enigma as well, saying TLO. So lots of cheers coming through here initially. And they're all on the side of TLO. We'll see if Optimus is going to come with anything soon. I think TLO's actually not going to let this game go long. He's going to throw down the Rotron. Double gas is going to be this Roach Ravager early aggression for TLO to just try and straight up win the game super early on here. As we're setting up, get ready to roll. We've got Demilove in the chat as well. Go Optigod for that Ephemeral Vince. Yeah, we'll see how this ends up going, I suppose. There's a few Zerglings going to come on through as well. Actually already sneaking around. The whole idea of these Lings is that they're going to sneak around, force the Reaper to come back home. By forcing the Reaper to come home, the Reaper is not going to see what's happening on the other side of the map. He's not going to see the fact this was a Rotron being built. Obviously he knows it's a pull first because of the Ling timing, but he doesn't know about the Roaches. As we can be seeing, the SCV's been pulled off the line to help with this. Try and clean it up nice and quickly. The sooner he cleans it up, the sooner he gets across the map with the Reaper to figure out what is going on. He gets one SCV kill here, still splitting those Lings up because again, for TLO right now, it's just about being a nuisance and slowing Optimus down, blocking the factory there for a moment. 2 SCVs did fall. Again, Optimus just has no idea about this attack coming through the center. He's probably going to lose the Reaper as well here in just a few seconds, as the Ravager's going to push forwards unless he's got good reaction. Oh, no way, Optimus goes. Okay, there he sees it right now, but, well, is it soon enough is going to be our question. Another CC coming up here. Well, sorry, the first expansion coming up here on the natural. You see those Ravagers going to push up the ramp and try and do a little bit more. Some Corrosive Bars coming on down. And it's going to be seeing the couple of Cyclones on the way out of this reactive factory. Definitely a good way to set up in towards this, but I mean, actually with Cyclones here, it becomes kind of difficult for TLO. He's going to keep on Corrosive Battle, and he gets this Reaper from behind. He is drawn behind this, so only 4 Ravagers is the commitment here. It's not actually all too many. 4 Ravagers is, it's definitely a commitment, but it's not like, it's not the kind of the biggest of commitments you can make. You know, you could still be spamming Roaches, etc. across this map. There's just a couple more Lings, another Roach, which will probably become a Ravager as well by the time it arrives. Ooh, Cyclone getting kind of dangerously low and does go down, but he gets 2 Ravagers for it. This Cyclone here trying to keep on fighting. So far just isn't quite working out for him. And that is not looking too pretty here as these couple of Ravagers are going to get rid of this supply depot. And again, this factory taking some more damage as well. Very tackle stuff for the tier 20 as well coming in the chat. As we do just see the Cyclone trying to push this back. 31 runs for 23 SCVs though. TLO has done enough damage here to justify the attack and to put himself in a position where, you know, he can play this out from this point. You know, he's done enough damage around the, he's done enough damage around the map, etc. And there's just going to be seeing that Ravager pulling back. And that will be that. Cyclone locks onto the Overlord. Well, Cyclones lock onto the Overlord. And we'll start to take this down. Just as this game settles down, just for a moment or two here, guys, just want to bring you into that Solar Hurricane game. And we have seen the conclusion of the matchup. We're just going to put it in on the bottom right corner here for you guys to watch, as we'll keep a track of Optimus units. But basically, Solar came in for one last-ditched effort because he just didn't have anything left over. Hurricane did a very good job in previous engagements defending. He defended well enough to put Solar into this all-in position, which he just basically defended once again. The waves of Lingbane Hydra died out, and Solar called the GG for Hurricane to move through into the winners match of Group A or B. I don't know which group is which right now. Solid defense though by Hurricane. It was a solid defense in this game by Optimus as well, as we set up onto the counter-attack now. Hellions are going to try and dive, but there's Roaches up. And the reality is he's not going to find very much damage at all here. with this in these early stages. Cyclone's just going to get pushed back, and that will be that. A few drones taking some hits here and there. Well, on the way up in the main base, double Evo chamber coming on down as well, getting ready to go to double upgrades. And while TLO obviously didn't really want this game to end up going long, looks as though that's exactly what's going to end up happening. The double armory comes on down. A very popular choice of build from from Optimus here. Loves the double armory, double mech upgrades. Going into that very, very, very powerful just mech composition throughout the rest of the game, you know. You've seen these couple of Hellions still just poking and prodding away at this hatchery down on the low ground. Flare on the way up. We'll be finishing in just a few moments. 2 factories, 2 armories. Again, the armories get the upgrades. It also allows them to make 4s. And what he's getting basically set up in towards is he goes into the reactor on the starport and 2 factories next to it. Double medevac, 2 4s. And what that allows him to go for is a couple of 4 drops to keep on harassing and to keep on dealing damage. Optimus is already 7 workers ahead, so he already goes in towards this with a bit of a lead. And we'll see what it develops into as a couple of creep teamers will spread on forwards here as well. And this question in, we're going to be seeing a couple of these creep teamers just getting picked off. Nice pickoffs here by Optimus. 1-1 upgrades coming on through from TLO's side of things. A few more roaches on the production tab, roach speed. On the way up, double auto turret going to drop here as the Raven tries to get away. Gets us a couple of drone kills, gets a roach as well. The auto turret's cleaned up fairly swiftly. Today is the game of good defense. We just saw a great defense from Hurricane in that ZvP. We're just going to be seeing the TVT. There's been a mixture of defense from both Tower and Zerg players so far to set us up to this stage of the game here. Aliens just running around. Let's see where they can go. Yeah, and there's a couple of 4s going to pop just as the medevac's popping again. Those should be dropping across the map here. We're trying to start picking up some damage. It's amazing what a couple of 4s can do, actually. They can pick off creep teamers very easily. Roaches go down. They can even tank so much damage because they have the medevacs to just pick them up as soon as it becomes a thing. Just going to be seeing those medevacs going up towards the upper left-hand side. Who will just get popped. At the same time, a lot of Roach Raptors are attacking across the map, and it's actually quite a good time to counter, because these 4s obviously will get cleaned up eventually by reinforcements. So it means that a lot of what, you know, Optimus has been committed into over here is not really going to be here to actually defend. So already we see a lot of workers going down. I feel as though this is a timing by TLO, which is actually really well designed to deal with someone who commits their first 2 kind of main factory units across the map to try and deal damage. As said, they are dealing damage, it's just not that much damage in comparison to the damage he's currently taking. 31 workers down. He has to really get in towards, you know, a base or something to do a bit more, but he's lost one of the 4s as well. I think that is going to be GG. TLO takes game number 1 of this best of 5. I thought we might see some more Optimus memes in the chat, but we're staying clear of them for now. Got a Dario Ling in the chat as well. Loving it, loving it. One of my favorite emotes is the Dario Ling. I wish I could, it really annoys me, man. I want to subscribe to so many channels to collect all the emotes. I just can't justify it though, you know? You know, when it's just so expensive, it's just like, you can't really, like, $5 per month isn't that much, you know, to support streaming, to get access to really cool emotes. But once you start, like, subscribing to, like, multiple people, it quickly adds up. Like, you know, 5 subs is already $25 a month, you know? I would say, like, I have, like, 2 or 3 subs that I'm, like... I have about 5 subs that I'm just not ever gonna let, I'm not ever gonna really let drop, you know? Because, you know, they're like my core channels that I really love. Roddy, Uthermal. You know, they're my boys, right? You know, I can't unsub to them. There's other few channels here I, like, really just enjoy watching. You know, just a few channels I always tune into and really enjoy the content of, you know. I'm always subscribed to those guys. And then every now and then I'll throw another sub, like, someone else's way, and... Then I get really sad when I have to cancel it though, just because I can't justify really having more than 5 subs running at a time, or for too much of an extended time. Maybe I go up to like 7 or 8 or so sometimes, but I always kind of, you know, only for 1 month or something. Feels bad, man. Maybe someday we can afford to sub to all the StarCraft channels. As we said on Open to Game. Number 2, this best of 5 to the bottom right-hand side. Our blue Zerg player. Getting all the love in the chat from Elder Balam. Always loving TLO, says Al Taunt. Is TLO to the bottom right. Team right. Top left, our Red Terran player representing Dead Pixels. Give it up for Optimus as we get set up on Interlope here for our second game of this best of 5. And again, today going to be generally casting a 6 best of 5 series. Might try and grab some of the replays as well to cast kind of at later points. Might kind of do a stream where we cast just some of the series we don't get to cover, we didn't get to cover live from replays. May not be later today, may just be like sometime next week, just because we are going to have a few days where we're going to have... I just haven't had a chance to schedule it next week, so I'm just trying to think of ways in which I could schedule to make sure that we're going to have like a stream every day, and just make sure that you guys get your daily dose of StarCraft from the channel. You know how important that is. Don't want you guys like going without your daily dose of StarCraft, you know, God. What would happen? There's actually so much StarCraft going on. Base Raider just starting up their Ting Season 4. Obviously that's a huge event, which is a round of 32 event as well. They play every group on a different day. So there's going to be a lot of action from them, from Base Trade as well this month. It's going to be busy times, man. It's going to be really, really busy. It's going to be pretty crazy how busy it's going to be. Just going to see this Reaper popping around and just going to be seeing it just going to be... ooh, just get a grenade down. And does manage to pick off that Creep Tumor. So Creep Tumor gets picked away out. It goes down here. And a couple more Hellions, a couple of more SCVs on the way out. Cloak on the way up, and a medevac currently coming through as well. These couple of Hellions just working their way through this hatchery. So a little bit of damage being done there, and nothing really too crazy per se or anything along those lines. Just going to be seeing, and this medevac just continue to set on up. So medevac setting on up, these couple of Evo chambers from TLO coming through as well. You can see these couple of Hellions from Optimus going to be popping out and getting ready to lift on up in towards this medevac as well, potentially. There it goes, lifts up, and Optimus is going to be coming through the top side of the map just to see where you can get to. 4 Hellions, as we're going to be seeing the couple of Evo chambers finishing up as well, +1 missiles and +1 carapace. And yeah, and a third CC coming down. Optimus basically going for kind of an alternate route into mech play here. I mean, obviously you could throw down Tech Lab on the barracks and think about Stim shortly, but just because he has been a mech player lately in TVZ, probably means he's going to continue with that sort of trend. As we see Hellions going to unload and just going to run by. Let's see what damage they can get done. Good response by TLO, though, already lifting. Well, already forcing the lift upon the Hellions, but already just pulling his drones to minimize the damage taken. Nice micro by Optimus, though. Drops back down, trying to make the most of this. We'll come back down now over here. TLO actually takes the upward third base rather than the third base down over here, which is not something you oftentimes see. I don't really have a reason for him to be doing that, apart from maybe he feels this base is less easily pushed by mech than this base down here, which is kind of true perhaps. You know, pushing down here is not very difficult to do. Pushing up here, and you still have a similar push through this point, you still have this point. Yeah, so it's an interesting one. We see the Banshee coming in anyways. Spockcrawler currently just relocating the Banshee with 1 single kill. It's not a lot, but it will add up if the game just continues. Let's transfuse, and we're going to see the Extractor just kept alive a little longer there. Spockcrawler will begin to burrow, and Optimus will have to think about pulling away with that Banshee, but he's actually just not paying attention. He's actually back to the Hellions into the natural. Gets 4 kills, but he loses the Banshee now. Again, not pretty for our Terran player. Banshee comes in, tries to fight, but another Spore Crawler in location. There's the 2 extra factories coming down to follow up from the double armory, and the 1-1 mech upgrades are now starting up as well. So that's getting ready to roll. This lair will be finishing in a few moments as well. Once again, trying to run by. I like this from, you know, Optimus. Continue to throw the Hellions at his opponent. It's something which you need to do as the mech player, honestly. I think, you know, whenever I watch players play mech, some people will do this and some people don't. I always feel that the players who do throw their Hellions into the mineral lines, and even if they don't feel like they get a lot done, I still feel like overall it's worthwhile because you're forcing the Zerg to react, you're forcing the Zerg to worry about their eco and to set up defenses and to, you know, just make sure they're kind of a bit more defensive. If you just let them sit back, then all of a sudden they are going to be on 75 drones, they are just going to max out on pure units. Whereas Hellions are something you can kind of throw away while building up your kind of tech heavier units. This time the double tank are going to come out rather than Medivacs and 4s. But again, I mean, obviously you want a few Hellions to tank for those tanks, but it's the tanks that really do save the day back at home, and so you can be more expendable with Hellions and so on in the early stages. I like it when players go for that. It really does feel like the slightly stronger way to play it out, I suppose. Banshee's still just going to be sat around. It is getting to that dangerous stage of the game where TLO is on 70 workers. But Optimus is on 62 of his own, and again, the mech will keep him very safe and defensive. Now we see Swarm Host on the way as TLO's way to fight against this. You're going to see those couple Hellions getting picked off right away here. Swarm Host has been very good at dealing with mech lately. People have figured out that with Swarm Hosts, you can actually trade a little bit more efficiently than if you trade with, you know, you can actually trade kind of efficiently against the mech, which is kind of crazy because obviously the power of mech is just how efficiently it can trade. This is nice, though. These roaches got on top of those two tanks. Maybe this is one of those examples where there isn't quite enough to defend. The floors are actually just about to pop, so it's going to take a little while longer. You're going to see the Banshee just going to do a little bit more damage. Roach is taking some damage again. And the floors coming out will defend this, but 7 SCVs going down again. It feels like TLO is the one who's dealing all the damage, who's slowing the mech player down. The mech player doesn't necessarily need to slow down the Zerg player as much as Bio does, but Stony still wants to do something. It's going to be nice. He's going to get at least one Swarm Host kill. Lifts up. I would have actually liked him to bait the Swarm Host Locust to drop down onto the 4s right there before lifting up. And actually I like this too. He's going to drop back down behind you. He's going to try and get another Swarm Host. He does. It's actually going pretty well, honestly. Pull away, minimize the damage you take with these Locusts, and you should be pretty good here. Has to make sure this orbital command doesn't die, though, obviously. That would be pretty, well, it would be very bad for him. Just almost actually coming through this top side. Obviously confident he's got enough to fight here. The 4s are just sat in the back not doing anything. Optimus needs to bring these into the fight, man. He needs them. A couple of tanks sieging up. The Swarm Hosts, well, most of them are up to the top side. I guess he's going to try and set Locusts in towards the main base, which would be annoying because there just isn't anything even beginning to be in position to deal with that. Go. He's actually going to start dropping down this low ground. He's going to try and grab those 4s. Medivacs will lift them up and pull them back. Actually, with the tanks here, this is going kind of okay. SCVs are repairing up that CC. And, yeah, we're going to be seeing tanks and 4s continue to trade it out. Banshee up in the sky. Still fighting away here. We're just going to be seeing a Locust or 2 getting picked away out as well. Pushing forward, it's going to be again just trying to do a little bit more. It's going to get another Swarm Host kill. I really like this actually. You know, Optimus has picked off 4 Swarm Hosts so far. He's actually done a lot of damage while defending here. Usually as the defender, you're the player who, especially against Swarm Hosts, you're really just not doing anything because you're just fighting against Locusts and Locusts and Locusts. But the fact he's picked off multiple Swarm Hosts, etc., has been a pretty huge deal. We're seeing these Roaches, Ravagers, etc. continue to work their way through here right now. These rocks can get picked off, and again, just going to see some more Swarm Hosts coming up to the top side. Try and do a little bit more. Some Locusts going to pop on up, and Tank's going to be firing away, doing quite a bit of damage here already. Viking's going to be here as well to try and just help out a little bit further. Roaches and Ravagers still just pressuring on forwards. A lot of damage being done as those Ravagers do drop very quickly, I have to say, but is there just too much here from TLO? I think there is. Optimus is going to drop out of game number 2. TLO will tie this series, will take the 2-0 lead in this best 2 in the upper right-hand side of the map here. It's going to be our blue Zerg player. Give it up for Team Liquid's TLO. Bottom left-hand side, our red Terror player. It is Optimus, representing Dead Pixels and the Netherlands. Game 3 of the series, looking to see what's going to happen here. As we get set up ready to rumble. Hope you're all having a fantastic time so far. Hope you are all having a fun time with us on these games today. It's been actually a lot of fun so far. We're having a good time, and this is our second series of the day. After this, we got Group C and D to come as well. It's not going to be as long a day as yesterday. Take TV have to be done by 6 or 7 p.m. CEST today due to commitments at their commitments at their venue. They have to be done and doing other things, and yeah, we'll be finishing kind of earlier today, but we'll be back tomorrow with playoffs as well, so get full weekend of StarCraft 2 from us. There's so much StarCraft on today anyways, you guys shouldn't be too worried about all of that. 4 barracks on the way up here from Optimus. 2 SCVs, 2 Marines. Actually, multiple Marines starting to join up together as we get set up in towards this. Just wanting to see what's going to be happening here. Is going to be seeing SCVs, Marines. You're moving up the top. Obviously, this is going to be an all-in from Optimus. This is a build which Blue Cheese used yesterday to defeat several. It's kind of difficult here on Acolyte because immediately you're just not going to know about it because your scouting just doesn't really tell you. That Zerglin there obviously gave him a lot of info, but he sees this Overlord, and that's going to be a supply block for TLO, who starts up 2 Spine Crawlers in the main. Don't think Optimus should waste too much time on this low ground. I think he should go and try and cancel Spines right away, because Spines are going to be the one thing that's going to make life very difficult for him moving forwards. But those Spines do build pretty quickly. They're at the front. Queens will try and defend them. You can see one Spine already taking some shots here. Queen taking some damage too. A few seconds away from transfusions being available. Obviously can't transfuse a building Spine Crawler, however. Drone's being pulled into this as well. A couple of Lings on the low ground getting taken down. You can see another push forwards. That Spine gonna go down, I think. I think he should just target it before it finishes, and it is another cancel from TLO. Drone still being pulled into this. 9 kills so far. More Marines on the way out, remember. Lings have Link speed now. Actually going to see a Bane nest on the way up. TLO can just get a few Banes. Maybe he can find the connections he needs. Optimus going to focus on the low ground. Realizing that the Queen's on the high ground, I think. It's one of those situations where they have transfusions now. So is it really worth it for him to kind of fight against those Queens and them to transfuse each other up? 12 SCVs against 15 drones. No orbital at home, and a couple of things going to go counter-attack. It's nice as we see these Broodlings going to be coming forwards. Now a couple of Banes starting to build. Optimus can wait a little while though. You can pick off any more Zerglings that pop out of these eggs. Ooh, they actually run away pretty quickly, don't they? But you can continue to push forwards. Going to get that lava as well. And up to the high ground. Again, a couple of Banes on the way out. And see what he can do. We're going to see target find will be essential. Gets 1, 2, 3. No, this Bane connects. Oh no, Optimus. That's going to be GG right there. That Bane connecting. Just way too good a connection. And that is going to be game. TLO takes the 3-0.